Welcome to NIOS Live. Hello learners. In this course, we will learn about various art forms of India. Today, we are going to look into history and appreciation of art from 3000 BC to 600 AD. This is our first lesson of painting course. We will learn about the art from focusing on, as I said, from 3000 BC to 600 AD. Looking into the history from Indus Valley civilization, which is from 2500 to 1750 BC, to the Mauryan dynasty, Indian art underwent gradual development. The artists of Harappan period demonstrated sophisticated craftsmanship. The Mauryan period marked a very significant turning point in Indian art, exemplified by the highly polished Ashokan pillars and considered treasures of Indian heritage. Alongside these refined styles, folk traditions persisted, such as terracotta mother goddess figurines. Following the Mauryas, Shungas maintained artistic production, producing significant artworks like Great Stupa at Sanchi. The Kushanas of Central Asian origin contributed notably to the portraiture in sculpture. Gupta period, which is from 4th to 6th century CE, often referred to as the golden age of Indian art, which brought refinement in human representation, seen in centers like Mathura, Sarnath, Ujjain and Aichitra. Gupta sculptures blended technical mastery with spiritual subtlety. It's a hallmark of classical Indian aesthetics. This period also saw the flourishing of Ajanta cave paintings and advancements in temple architecture at Udaygiri, Nachna and Bumara. Thus, the golden period, it is called during the Gupta period, which is also considered as a classical epoch in Indian art history. Along with the religious art, a significant number of secular sculptures were also produced during this period. The famous Ajanta paintings were created during this period. Besides paintings and sculptures, a major development in art was the emergence of cave and temple architecture. Some of the important sites in this regard are the Udaygiri caves in Madhya Pradesh as well as Nachna and Bumara, where temple architecture began to develop. In a nutshell, it can be said that Gupta period represents the classical era of Indian history. Now, let us look into the objectives of this particular lesson. After studying this lesson, you will be able to provide a concise overview of the artistic developments from 3000 BC to 600 AD. And next is you will be able to list the key art objects associated with this particular period, and you will also be able to analyze and distinguish the materials, sites, dimensions of the artworks, colors and current locations of these listed objects in the self-learning material. And you will also be able to accurately identify and name the major art objects from this particular historical time frame, and also differentiate and describe the defining features and stylistic characteristics of the identified art objects in this particular self-learning material. This is the first example, which is Dancing Girl. Dancing Girl is a remarkable bronze sculpture from Indus Valley civilization. discovered at Mohenjo-daro, which is modern day Pakistan, and dated to around 2500 BCE. This small yet iconic figure is widely regarded as one of the finest examples of artistic and technical sophistication achieved by the artisans of one of the world's earliest urban cultures. Standing at approximately 10.5 centimeters, which is 4 inches tall. The dancing girl exhibits both artistic refinement and metallurgical expertise, particularly in the lost wax casting technique, which is used to produce it. The figure is slender and elongated limbs and a sinuous and rhythmic posture that conveys a sense of movement and youthful vitality. The several distinctive features highlights the artistic sensitivity of the sculptor. Despite the figure being nude, her left arm is adorned with a series of bangles, reaching almost to the shoulder. This adornment style is notably similar to ornaments worn by central tribal communities in modern day Gujarat and also Rajasthan, suggesting a possible links. The hairstyle is another important aspect. Unlike the elaborate and stylized hairdos seen on the terracotta mother goddess figurines of the same period, this figure wears her hair tied back in a simple bun, giving her an unexpectedly a contemporary appearance. Her pose is relaxed yet confident. The right hand rests on her hip while the left hand touches her thigh, suggesting a self-assurance and poise. The posture is naturalistic and evocative, refining the impression that the artist understands both anatomy and gesture. The precision of the casting and the balanced proportions reveal the technical mastery of the Indus Valley metallurgists. Despite its small size, the sculpture possesses a remarkable monumentality, a visual power and presence that makes it seem larger than it is. This effect of implied scale is a hallmark of great sculptural art of this period. What makes the dancing girl truly unique is the successful integration of realistic form, stylized elegance and symbolic vitality. It stands as a testament to the aesthetic sensibilities and craftsmanship of the Indus Valley civilization, offering profound insights into its social life and artistic conventions, and also technological achievements. Next comes Rampurva Bull Capital. It is very similar to the Ashokan pillar like Lion Capital. This has a bull in place of the lion statue. During the reign of Emperor Ashoka, inscriptions conveyed his edicts and the teachings of Lord Buddha were engraved on the pillars, rock surfaces and tablets across Indian subcontinent. These Ashokan pillars have been discovered in various regions of India, with the notable exceptions of the far south. Each pillar typically consists of three parts: a base, a long monolithic shaft and a capital, which is decorative topmost section, like you see in case of bull here in this example. The capital often features a stylized inverted lotus base, a circular abacus which is like a disc, which is one of the central element here, and one or more animal figures which symbolizes various virtues or the directional guardians. For example, the lion, bull, elephant, etc. Among these, the Rampurva bull capital is considered one of the finest examples of Mauryan art, which is named after the site Rampurva, located in present day Bihar. This capital is composed of a bell shaped lotus forming the lower base and a decorated abacus adorned with stylized plant motifs and a lifelike representation of a majestic bull seated at the top. Scholars have noted that the decorative motifs around the abacus, including the palmettes and rosettes, suggest artistic influence from the Achaemenid, which is Persian, and Hellenistic, which is post Greek traditions, likely transmitted via contact routes during the Mauryan period. These motifs are intricately carved with great precision, which reflects technical skill and aesthetics of this particular sophistication which is created. The bull figure, though somewhat simplified, for example, the areas where the legs which are not fully carved conveys an immense strength and weight and vitality. The sculptor's success lies in capturing the animal's physical power and dignified presence with minimalistic yet confident modeling. The juxtaposition of the richly ornamented lotus and the abacus with the relatively plain yet a powerful bull creates a striking visual. A distinctive feature of this and other Mauryan sculptures is their mirror-like polish, which is referred to as Mauryan polish, which gives the stone a gleaming surface. Scholars have debated its origin, with some suggesting that the technique may have been influenced by Middle Eastern polishing methods, although it was perfected by Indian artisans. The Rampurva bull capital not only exemplifies the technical mastery of Mauryan sculptors, but also reflects the synthesis of indigenous and foreign artistic traditions, making a high point in early Indian monumental art. Learners, let us take a small break and continue with the other example. Thus, we were discussing about Rampura Bull Capital and Dancing Girl examples. Now, let's look into another example, which is Black Princess. Now, carefully look into the image, which is part of your self-learning material, which is from Ajanta phase. This particular example, Black Princess, which is the Ajanta caves, part of the Ajanta caves, which is located near the village of Ajanta in Aurangabad district of Maharashtra, which are among the most significant monuments of ancient Indian art. These 30 caves, including several unfinished ones, were excavated into a horseshoe shaped cliff along the Vagora river between 2nd century BCE and 6th century CE. The caves are primarily divided into two categories: Chaitya Grihas, which are prayer halls, and other are called Viharas, which are monastic residencies. The Ajanta paintings were executed in two main phases. The first phase is called as Hinayana phase from 2nd century BC, in which the Buddha was depicted through iconic symbols such as Bodhi tree, empty throne, or footprints. Second phase is called as Mahayana phase, which is 5th to 6th century CE, mainly during the reign of Vakataka king Harisena, where the Buddha and Bodhisattvas were portrayed in human form with elaborate narrative context. Here, the painting technique, contrary to early beliefs, the Ajanta paintings are not frescoes in a true sense. Fresco involves applying pigments mixed with water onto the wet plaster, allowing the color to bind chemically with the walls. Instead, Ajanta artists used tempera technique, where the natural pigments were mixed with organic binders such as gum or animal glue and applied over a dry plaster base. Despite the fragility of this technique, the colors have withstood the test of time, retaining a very good vibrancy. Coming to the example, the Black Princess, the painting referred to as Black Princess is considered one of the most exquisite examples of Ajanta murals. Though partially damaged, it showcases the artistic finesse and emotional subtlety that characterize the Ajanta's best of works. The figure is often identified as a royal woman or a celestial being, Apsara or Bodhisattva consort, which is rendered with a graceful posture featuring a delicate tilt of the head and elegantly contoured facial features with finely carved almond shaped eyes and soft lips. The lyrical quality of the composition, with the gentle curves of the body and subtle bending of the neck, imparts a sense of divinity and serenity. The free flowing lines, the mastery over the brushwork, and sensitivity to form and emotions demonstrate the extraordinary control of the artist. Despite the religious themes, the Ajanta murals reflect a deep humanism. They not only narrate Jataka tales and Buddhist lore, but also offer a window into social life, fashion, and emotional range of the period. The Black Princess epitomizes this fusion of devotion and artistic imagination. The color palette is earthy and subdued, avoiding any kind of harsh or the loud tones, enhancing the painting's meditative and graceful appeal. With this information, here we end it now. Thank you, learners. Hope you have enjoyed the information and details around history and appreciation of art.